Hope everybody's having a great Tuesday morning so far. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get going with this. Again, thank you very much for being here today. I believe I've got some things to share with you that will definitely create some value in your business, maybe also, I'm hoping also in your life as well too. And but all that being said, this is a very interactive type webinar too. So if you have any questions on anything I'm going over, if you need me to repeat anything that I've gone over, feel free to use the chat. Um, I will be keeping an eye out on that. So feel free to use that and just let me know. Okay. But thank you again for being here. So right before we get started, just want to mention one thing we have coming up real soon, and I'm super excited about this. We're looking to do an event like this every quarter where we're specifically um, trying to add value to the ladies that are in our life here at Legacy Team. So we have this coming up May 15th. It is from 9 to 11. It's in the Anello's room next to Montano's. We will have a buffet breakfast being served. I think some mimosas will be in the room as well too. And then Marjorie Adam will be in the room talking about how to create harmony in the chaos. There's things that you all go through as ladies that I obviously don't. And you're sometimes you have unique challenges. You also have very unique strengths too. And Marjorie's going to be spending some time on this, on how you can stay in a harmonious place in life and work, because it's not really a balance. It's getting through it and finding peace and all of it and still getting a whole lot done. And she's been very, very successful at doing all of that. So she will be in town that day. If you are not a lady, I challenge you to find some realtors maybe in your office that you think would be that you would think they would find value in this. Please invite them to it. We have about 15 seats left for it right now. Okay, and if you haven't RSVP for it, just send us an email at legacyteam@alcova.com. All right, so let's get on with the topic at hand today, and that is narrow your focus and grow your income. All right, so that is where we're at, and I want to tell you how this all started. It started with a book that I read back a few months ago, and this book has had just a major impact on my business over the last few months, to the point that you know, even in March, we had probably our best month that we've had in 2.5 years. And as far as business goes, but I'm starting to apply a lot of these principles too, just to all areas of my life, and starting to see some massive change and massive improvements in different areas. So I want to share a little bit from this book, but then also share with you some specific tactics that I believe you can do and use in real estate to help increase and improve the results that you're seeing. Some of you are having a great year already. There are some that are struggling, but even if you're in a place of struggle, even if you're in a place of having an amazing year, can you do better? And sometimes when I say, can you do better, sometimes that's not measured with dollar signs. That might be measured as that might be measured in, can I do better, but maintain my income, but be a better husband, be a better wife, be a better mom, be a better dad? Like, what areas can I improve? And it very well may have to do with, how can I improve my income, right? So the book got my attention when I first saw it, when I saw 10x is easier than 2x. And what the principle is in this book, what it really goes over is it really easier? Is it really easier to increase? Let's just talk about the money piece. Is it easier to increase my income 10 times versus 2 times? And the answer to this when you're done reading the book and being persuaded, the answer is yes. It really is actually easier to do that. We're going to go through some of the premises in this book, but also, again, I want to take it and how it applies specifically, I believe, to the real estate business, also to my industry as well, too. So here's one thing I want to challenge you with right out of the gate. When you think about goal setting, I know I have taught this to others before, and I've taught it to my kids. Like when you think of goal setting, let's set some realistic goals. So I had a coach last year that said, that is crap. Like, stop setting what you think are realistic goals. Start setting some goals that are going to stretch you, that are going to challenge you. And you know what? If you don't hit the goal, it's still okay because you're probably going to do a whole lot better than had you never set that massive goal to start with. And it just occurred to me like, wow, I need to expand my goals. I need to shoot for bigger things than what my mind has kept me limited at for so long. I think sometimes setting quote unquote realistic goals, we're setting an easy way out to just be mediocre in whatever it is that we're doing. I don't want a mediocre life. I don't want mediocrity to define my business, to define my relationships, to define my relationships with my family, to define my faith, any of that stuff. I want to excel at all of it. That's why I set out a few months ago, a few weeks ago, that I'm going to do rim to rim of the Grand Canyon. Like, that's a massive goal. Like, that's massive, but I want to do that in a day. And then you know what? I've been getting setbacks. I tore my MCL. I found out I deal with high blood pressure. I need medication. I feel all these things being targeted at me, but I still have the goal of I'm going to do this. I'm going to pursue it. And you know what? If I have to get carried out by a donkey, it's okay. The experience is going to be something that was not on my radar a few months ago, but now is, and it's going to create a huge, great life experience, right? We need to set big goals for life. We need to set big goals for business. I don't think God created you or me, either one, to think small or to play small. We need to step it up in everything that we're doing. So, with that said, I'm just going to ask you, do you dream big enough? Do you desire to play big? So if I were to challenge you right now, like right now, take whatever, and you can do this. Hopefully, you've got a piece of paper in front of you that you can take some notes on. But if you could just write down, or maybe you know in your brain, what your income was for last year. Yesterday was April 15th. If you did your taxes on time, you should know this number pretty readily. But whatever that number is, take that number that you did last year, and I want you to think for just a minute, how can I double that over the next 12 months? Let's pretend it's April 15th, 2025, and now you're doing your 2024 returns. What can you do to double those results? So I want to challenge you to think about that. But if you think on it, like probably what you would do, because I've thought about this in my own business, like if I want to double what I did last year and do it this year, if I if I simply want to double it, what comes to mind for me to do is like doubling all my activity. So for example, if I have a metric that I need to talk to 75 people in the course of a week, and I'm thinking, all right, I want to double my income, then if I'm talking to 75 now, I need to talk to 150, right? Or as a realtor, you might be thinking, all right, I did this, I'm paying Zillow 5,000 a month now. What if I paid them 10? Now I'm going to get double the results off of it, right? I want you to think about the activity. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's Zillow, client events, postcards, phone calls. Maybe you wait around your office and just hope the telephone rings. I don't know. But whatever activity you're doing right now, I want you to think, what are some things that you could do to double your income? Now, we could come up with a whole laundry list of things. There was a book a long time written called Guerrilla Marketing, and it was about coming up with this whole list of things that you could do to increase your business. Like we can do more activity we can figure out a way to get double our income. And sometimes it's just as simple as doubling the activity. I don't want to work 80 to 90 hours a week. The 45 to 50 I'm working right now is sufficient, and I don't want any more than that, right? And I doubt you want to work any more than that either. We want a life, not so much a business. We want a life and a business that supports our life, right? So what can we do? Let's just say, like, what I wanted to plan in your brain to start with is doubling your income. It can be done. And oftentimes you think of all these things to do. But instead of doing that, what if I gave you the challenge of, I want you to take your income from last year and multiply it by 10? What are things that you can do to go from where you're at, multiply it by 10, 10x it? What are things you can do? Like when you start thinking about, if I'm going to grow my business 10x from where I'm at right now, you start filtering out all the junk that is kind of wasting your time and taking you away from the big things that you need to really seriously be focusing on. Those big things, if you only focused on those big things, like there's some activities that can only take you from here to here. There's a bunch of activities that can take you from here to here, right? So you've got to focus on what can really expand my brain, what can really expand what I'm doing and what results I'm getting. So I'm everything right now that I'm thinking about doing in my business or in my life, I'm sending through what I'm calling a 10x filter. Is that going to give me the results that are 10 times what I'm experiencing right now? And if the answer is no, let's not focus on that. Let's focus on what can get me from where I'm at now to 10 times something better, right? So that's what I want us to start focusing on. I want to give you just a quick example, and this is, I'm going to relate this to food. But let's say I challenged you over the next 2 weeks, let's say, to create a plan to lose 10 pounds. All right. If you had 2 weeks to lose 10 pounds, you could do something like, you can create a detailed, specific diet plan. You can create a detailed, specific exercise plan, maybe hire a nutritionist, but you got this short amount of time to lose 10 pounds. What are the things you can do? You can come up with this whole laundry list of things, or you could go right for the jugular and say, all right, what if a couple of days this week I do a hard fast and only have water? No sweets, period. Do the same thing next week. If you make some massive changes instead of all this little incremental stuff, but take massive change in one specific area of your life, you're going to see some massive difference. That's what I want us to focus on. What are the things that are going to take us from where we're at now to 10x? And it's not all this peripheral stuff that we've been doing for the most of us. So I just want us to I want to challenge your way of thinking on this. If you need this book, please go get this book. 10x is easier than 2x. It will challenge every part of your life. And it even has some stories in it about a realtor that that massively changed her income levels following this principle. So it does speak specifically to you guys as well too. So here's the thing. You don't need to do more. You simply need to focus on what's creating the most growth and narrow your focus on those things. All right, so a lot of you probably have heard at some point about the Pareto principle. What does that say? It basically says 80% of the effort that you put into something is getting you about 20% of your results. I want you to think about that. If you've never thought about it with your business before, it's true. 80% of your effort is getting you about 20% of the results. Vice versa, 20% of your effort is getting you about 80% of your results. This is huge for you to grab a hold of real quick and understand. Like I started under when I was reading this book and going through it, I've heard this principle before, but understanding that, and when I started breaking down all the different things that I do, what is creating massive growth in my business. And what are things that I'm doing that I can't track, or I can track and it's just not providing any results to it? Start removing that 80% and start expanding on the 20% that's given you just a massive amount of growth in your business. That's what we have to focus on. So if you have a piece of paper close by, and I hope you do, I want you to real quick make a list of what produces the best results for your business. I hope that you're tracking things like this. And if you're not, we can provide you with a copy of a lead tracker where you can start tracking all of your leads. But I want you to know what gives you the best results in your business. It could be calling your database. There's some agents I know that do client events. They get a lot of results from it. There's some realtors I know that they absolutely crush it and get a ton of results from doing open houses. Interestingly enough, there are some realtors I know that do open houses and they see it as a complete waste of time. So, you know why that is? We're all built different, and that's okay. That's the way God created us. So, whatever it is that you feel like, this, I know when I do this, I'm going to get good results. I want you to make a list of things that you know you're doing in your business right now that's creating great results in your business. One of those things, again, could be open houses, could be calling your past clients, it could be cold calling people. It could be meeting with builders. Maybe it's a Zillow. Okay. There's people that are crushing it with Zillow. There's people that spend money on Zillow and get nothing. It just depends on, a lot depends on you and your gifts. And we'll talk more about that in just a minute. But I want you to write down and get this list of what you're doing that is creating results. The key is to focus on results, not necessarily leads. I want to repeat that one more time. When you're thinking about this list you're creating, the key is to focus on your results, not necessarily the leads. For example, if I'm calling on, let's say, 10 people, and those 10 people give me 8 leads, and out of those 8 leads, 7 convert to closed loans, that's a great closing percentage. Maybe I choose another 10 people that I'm trying to build a relationship with. I'm calling on them. They refer me 40 leads, but I only get 2 convert into loans. That's not a great closing percentage. I would be better off spending my time focused on these 10 versus this 10. But we can apply this to everything in our business. Like, and I'm just using certain things. And again, I'm going to pick on Zillow for a minute, but you may be experiencing great success with it. You may be, or may have in the past, spent money on it and it's not producing. But if you're getting 100 leads from it, but you're only converting 1, that's not a great closing percentage. But if you're getting 100 leads from it and converting half or maybe 30%, that's good. Maybe you need to do more of that. You need to look at everything that you're spending money on, taking time with, investing time with, and breaking it down and really seeing this is something that is really supporting my business. Okay. So I just want to challenge you to understand, and you need to know what is the 20% that you're currently doing that's creating 80% of your results. That has to be your focus on everything that you choose to do. If you want to create momentum that's taking you to 10x levels, spend all of your time doing those 20% things. That's where your time has to be spent. So I want to use a little bit of an example here of, and just ask you, and these are facts. This is not anyone's opinion. What's the best selling book of all time ever? And I'm sure y'all probably know the answer to this. If anyone wants to put it in chat, you're welcome to. Rick says the Bible. Absolutely. Best-selling book of all time. I could also ask you, what is the largest religion in the world? And the answer to that, and I fact checked it on Google because we know Google has all the correct answers, but the largest religion in the world is Christianity. Now, I want to use this example because I think it sets a great foundation for how we can also build an amazing business following something straight from the best-selling book ever, and it backs up what I'm about to tell you. So, the best-selling book ever, yes, it is the Bible. But how did the message from the Bible spread? How did it spread? It started with simply 12. 12 people. Jesus chose 12. He didn't market to the masses. He chose 12. I want you to think right now, and I've been doing a lot of thinking on my own business. How have I been marketing? Because I have in the past been part of I've been in large real estate firms. I've done that. I've in the past marketed to a ton of people. Like there's 1,500 agents. In the past, I may have been guilty of sending 1,500 agents rate emails long ago, or maybe 1,500 agents videos. I may be guilty of that too. I have focused in bringing this down to a select group of people. And I want you to think about this in your own life. Like if you want to expand your business, if you want to push it out, doing more with less is where you have to focus on. Who are the people in your life that can move you forward? So just this one tactic alone has created more income for me. I want you to think, and I'm going to start moving through these things quickly so we can finish on time. But I want to challenge you to identify 12 people in your life that are almost like golden geese. You know they're going to refer you. You know they believe in you. You know they like you. You know they trust you. Identify 12 people. From there, how else did the gospel of Christianity spread? The next, in Luke 9, he talks about Jesus choosing the 12. One chapter more, Luke 10, he talks about then Jesus found 72 others to go spread his message. So select 72 others or a few others to help you carry your torch and carry your message to other people. These could be past clients that believe in you, that gave you 5-star Google reviews. These may be other business people like divorce attorneys, um, estate attorneys, all these other people that could give you help and help you build your business. But you need to go deep with 12, then have an outer layer of another 72. This is exactly what Jesus did. Look at how it spread all over the world. You can do the same with a small select group of people. So we're going to take these other 72, maybe past clients, could be a list of some VIPs, but what did he do with others around him? He taught them, he broke bread with them, he cared for them, served them, engaged with them more frequently. These are things that you could do. And if you start doing these things and being more intentional with the people that are been given to work with you in your life, you will start seeing massive change, I believe, in your business. But you got to take care of who is literally right in front of you. And we skip those people and go straight to people that we don't know. They don't know us. They don't know that they might like us or not. And they don't know if they can trust us. But that's who we go marketing to. Let's focus on the ones that literally have been given to us to do life with. So I want to challenge you to work on a couple of lists. You're 12, maybe it's a monthly lunch with them. Maybe it's doing something special with them each month. Work on a list of 72 that you're going to call and do life with and do relationships with and teach them how they can grow wealth, whether it's through real estate or other parts of their life. Teach them. That's exactly what Jesus did, and it will expand your business. So, lesson number one in all of this is narrow who you're going after, create a list and create a marketing strategy to the inner circle of 12 and to another 72. Lesson two, we're going to go through this part quick, but I want you to do this real quick. Get a piece of paper, have your paper, pen. I want you to think on how you're spending your time. So here's what I want you to write down, your yearly income for 2023 was, that is question or answer A. So put that down. Then take that income, divide it by 52, because that's the number of weeks in a year, and that is on average what you make per week. Once you have that number, I want you to take that number, divide it by 40, because ideally, I know we all work probably more than 40 hours a week, but ideally, we want to work a 40-hour work week. That is your hourly wage. So again, your yearly income from last year is A. Take A, divide it by 52, that is B. Take B, divide it by 40, that's your hourly wage. Super important you know this number. So just to give you an example, if your yearly income goal is 200,000 a year, that divided by 52 equals 38.46 per week. That divided by 40 means that's $96.15 an hour. Now, once you know your hourly wage, I want you to make a list of items that you're doing that are not worthy of your hourly wage. All right, this was super convicting for me the first time I did this, because I realized there is a whole pile of junk I do that is not worth what my hourly wage is. And when I spend my time distracted doing stuff that honestly also frustrates the snot out of me, and someone else could do it better, and I could be a blessing to somebody else by hiring them to do it, now my life is easier. Now someone else is taking care of what I don't like to do. They're enjoying doing it, and they do it better than I do. That's when we understand that maybe we need to start looking at having someone else do these things. What we also need to do is make a list of items that you do that are worthy of your hourly wage. That also should be your new focus. So when we're eliminating that 80% that only produces the 20%, now we want to focus on this 20% that's going to give us the 80% result. That's where we need to spend our time, right? So is it, and it may not be, but is it time to hire? How do you know? A metric to use, and I'm not a real estate agent, but I've got a lot of great realtors in my life all over the country that are crushing it. And this is the metric they all use. When they average 3+ transactions a month over a 90-day time frame, it's time to hire somebody on their team. So if this is you and you need to hire, I can get you some job descriptions of who to hire first. Just let me know, and I'm happy to help you with this. Now, one last thing I want to give to you, and it's another book. So if you don't like to read, maybe check out audible.com, because all of these books are on Audible too. But this one is something I was told 2 weeks ago to read. I read it and I've done the assessment. And I'm telling you, it's already changing the way I'm working and changing the way my team is working as well too. So do what you like. That is the secret. Understanding and finding where your genius is and the things that you do can sometimes be hard. This book goes through 6 different types of work that people either are good at, it excites them, or 6 different things that might frustrate them, right? Like one of the 6 types of working genius is tenacity. That's a great word. I love the word tenacity. I love tenacious people. Guess what? It frustrates me. I don't like being tenacious myself, but I do have team members that do. One of the other 6 types of working genius is called inventor. That means coming up with new ideas. That I love. And I've been criticized on my team before of coming up with more ideas before we completed the other ones that I've come up with before. But that's my working genius, is being an inventor, and also galvanizing people, keeping them together, making sure that they get motivated to go out and do the things that we need to do. Those are my strengths. That's where I need to focus my time. I'm not a tenacious person. I'd rather come up with more ideas. Someone else can finish it. You need to understand where you're good at. And this book is great for your marriage. It's also great for you to be able to help understand where your kids are at too, so we can coach them in the correct way. Okay, so I challenge you to do the Six Types of Working Genius book, read the book, and there's an assessment after it. Take that assessment. All right, and if there's any of the things that we went over that you would like some more help on, these are my numbers. It's my email address. Please feel free to call, contact me anytime. And I just want to remind you one more time, if you've not RSVP'd for this, if you're a woman, please take the moment to do it because I promise you, you're going to get so much value out of this. And if you have women realtors around you, please do me a favor and share. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Thank you all so much for being on our webinar today. Hope you got something out of this and challenge you to get the books and let's 10x where we're at. Hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.